Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Artymeetscrafty. In this video, let us learn 25 basic patterns of mandala. Now let's start. First pattern, draw elongated round petals spread across two grids, then draw the border line as well as the inner line. Now at the right corner, draw 3 petal shape pattern and shade the gap area. For the second pattern, draw elongated round petal pattern spread across two grids, then draw the spirals, then add a circle and draw the flower patterns and shade the gap area. Here I have not added the inner line. If you want to add, you can add it. For the third pattern, draw pointed petals, then draw the baseline. Now draw the inner line, then draw a circle in the middle of the pattern, then add 5 petals as shown in the video. Now shade the rest of the pattern so that the flower pops out, and also add a dot and a line. For the fourth pattern, draw pointed petals, then draw the baseline as well as add the inner line. Now draw the spirals as shown, then draw a circle as well as 3 petals and also shade the gap area so that the pattern pops out. For the fifth pattern, draw elongated round petal pattern spread across two grids area and draw the baseline as well as the inner line. Now draw the spirals on the both sides. Draw a circle and add 5 petals, and also at the bottom draw a circle and then shade the gap area as shown. Now let us move on to the sixth pattern, that is draw pointed petals and then the baseline as well as the inner line. Now draw the lotus flower pattern as shown. Shade the gap area so that the lotus pops out. Add a dot and a straight line as shown. For the seventh pattern, draw elongated round petal pattern. Then draw the baseline as well as the inner line. Now from the middle, draw the parsley pattern, add the petals and shade the remaining area. For the eighth pattern, draw elongated petal pattern spread across two grids as well as the baseline and the inner line. Now divide it into two halves. In the first half, draw 3 spiral patterns and shade the gap area. Next, draw some diagonal lines as shown in the video. Now for the ninth pattern, draw triangles spread across two grids. Then draw elongated petal pattern. Draw the baseline. Now draw additional 3 triangles inside the triangle. Then add few diagonal lines. Next, shade the alternate triangles. For the 10th pattern, draw elongated round petal pattern spread across two grids as well as the baseline and the inner line. Now draw the spiral as shown in the video from the middle, then shade the gap area as well as add a circle and 3 petals as shown. For the 11th pattern, draw pointed petals. Draw the baseline as well as the inner line. Now add parsley pattern from the middle to the right part of the pointed petals as well as add 3 petals and shade the gap area as well as draw a triangle inside the parsley pattern. For the 12th pattern, draw arc petals spread across 2 grids as well as the baseline. Draw the inner line and then divide the petal into 2 halves. For the first left half, draw petal pattern, and for the right half, draw some diagonal lines. For the 13th pattern, draw elongated round petal patterns spread across 2 grids. Draw the baseline as well as the inner line to it. Now, in the left hand corner, draw the spiral, then add flower petal patterns as shown. Now add a dot underline to the flower petals as shown and also shade the gap area. For the 14th pattern, draw pointed petals as well as add a baseline and also the inner line. Divide it into 2 halves. For the left half, draw the petal pattern. For the right half, draw the spiral and also a circle and shade the gap area. For the 15th pattern, draw pointed petals, baseline as well as the inner line to it. Now divide it into 2 halves. For the left half, draw 2 spirals and shade it. Then for the right half, draw some diagonal lines. Now for the 16th pattern, draw some pointed petals, baseline as well as the inner line, then follow the pattern. For the 17th pattern, draw the pointed petals, baseline as well as the inner line. Now, from the middle of the top pointed petals, start drawing 3 petal pattern and make it bold, then add few straight lines as shown in the video. Now for the 18th pattern, Draw elongated round petal pattern spread across two grids as well as the baseline and also the inner line. Now draw the parsley pattern as shown and also a leaf petal pattern. Then add a circle and a dot and a straight line as shown in the video. For the 19th pattern, draw pointed petals spread across two grids, baseline as well as the inner line. Then divide it into two halves. In the first half, draw the parsley pattern as shown and also add diagonal lines. Draw round petal pattern spread across two grids. Draw the baseline as well as the inner line. In the middle of the pattern, draw two inverted U shape and then draw petal pattern and shade in the gap area as shown and also add a straight line and a dot. For the 21st pattern, draw pointed petals at the baseline, then draw the inner line and now draw the parsley pattern starting from right to left. Then add few petal patterns and then shade in the gap area. Now let us move on to the 22nd pattern. Draw elongated patterns and add the inner line as well as draw the baseline. Now draw two spirals and also draw a flower petal pattern on top of this as well as shade the gap as shown in the video. For the 23rd pattern, draw elongated round petal pattern spread across two grids at the baseline as well as the inner line. Now, on the top of the elongated round petal pattern, draw a circle and as well as the lotus flower pattern as shown in the video. Then shade the rest of the gap area so that the flower pops out. For the 24th pattern, draw pointed petals spread across two grids as well as the baseline and also the inner line. Now divide it into two halves. In the first half and the second half, draw parsley pattern as shown. Then draw two circles on the top of the parsley pattern and shade the gap area. Inside this parsley pattern, draw a straight line and also the dot. For the 25th pattern, draw pointed petals, baseline as well as the inner line. Now draw a spiral to the right side and parsley pattern on the left side as shown. Then add flower petal pattern on the top. Then shade the gap area and also add a dot and a line as shown in the video. Finally, we have completed 25 patterns. Please do subscribe to my channel. Meet you all in my next video. Until then, this is Ashu Srini signing off.